Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Thembi Show. My name is Carol, with divinely guided medical intuitive is Thembi. Hi, Thembi.
Hi, Carol.
Thembi, I've seen there's been a bit of feedback about some confusion regarding our competition and who actually has won. Can you just clarify for us who has won and how do we work it?
Ultimate Therapy is creating waves with their treatment programs. From the simplest illness to the most complicated of illnesses, which baffle even the top physicians, but Ultimate Therapy achieves phenomenal results. We are now taking a bold step to showcase our abilities. We are offering free treatment of up to 20,000 Rand per person to 5 lucky people. We will cover a variety of illnesses, starting with pain management. If you live on pills because of pain of any kind and intensity, please enter the competition by sending an SMS to the following number: 073 926 6520. Terms and conditions for this competition are: you must reside in Port Elizabeth or be willing to come to Port Elizabeth for the duration of the treating. Ultimate Therapy, however, only covers the treatment costs, so you will cover your own transportation and accommodation. 2. You must be willing to participate in Dr. Alternative Show as a living testimony. To enter the competition, SMS your name, gender, age and telephone number to the number that appears on the screen. And good luck. Hello, am I speaking to Sandelisiwe Velum?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Sandelisiwe, my name is Andiswa Aris and I'm calling you from Health Haven in PE. Did you enter a health competition?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've got good news for you, Sandelisiwe. You have been selected as one of the lucky winners. Congratulations. And
thank you very much, ma'am.
Now, as viewers have seen the terms and conditions of the competition, firstly, there are 5 winners that we are going to select from the competition.
Okay, at this point, how many are there?
At this point, we've only selected the first one. Okay. And that is Sanelisiwe, the one that we presented to the viewers already.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So we still have 4 that we're going to select. Okay.
Alrighty.
But something that I want to clarify, because I see there is already a confusion. There is, anyway, it's not people, but there's one person who's already called us. In fact, it's one of the guest houses where we normally refer people to go and stay, those that are coming for treatment, that someone called to say she has won.
Oh my word.
So
it's a lady?
Yeah, she said it's a lady, it even has the name.
Oh wow.
Someone was won. And now wanted them to book her as she's supposed to come for treatment because she has won the competition.
Oh my word. Okay.
So we don't know if this is a misunderstanding or because I mean you can understand that English is our second language.
Absolutely, yes.
And sometimes some of all these explanations don't make sense particularly to the older folk.
Sure.
You know. So, but that's why we feel we must clarify it, that no one will just decide she is a winner. Okay, we select the winner, and the winner is selected randomly. It's not even us who select the winner. The system that is doing all that will just pick up. So we don't know who it is, how old, race, or anything. We've got no idea who we are selecting. Such that one person said to me, you guys are brave. How can you just select a person? you don't even know whether this person that you've selected is has got congenital problems, genetic problems, or has had maybe serious accidents and can never be resuscitated or anything. I said, no, but who does the selection, really?
Divinely guided
Exactly.
again. Absolutely.
Who does the selection? Because even the system that selects the person, how does it decide that it must be Sanelisi? It's not the system.
It's all divine intervention.
For as long as we learn to trust in the divinity, then we're going to understand a lot of things. So I told her, we don't worry, because the person who's presented to us is the person who is appropriate and deserving. People must just enter the competition, and like in every other competition, if it's your luck and it's your day, then that's it.
Then it'll be yours.
Then it will be yours.
Debbie, thank you for your generosity.
Yeah.
Debbie, today's show, what are we going to be discussing?
Today, I want us to talk about a particular condition that affects people in various ways, and yet it's something that we think very lightly of. So I'm gonna talk about that condition. Therefore, the condition that, as I've said, it looks silly. A person might please get out of here, and yet people are still getting shocked already, because most of the people that come here, the first treatment that we do is that alignment, and then that's where people are like, sure, I couldn't even lift the shoulder. And you did nothing to the shoulder. All you focused on was my sphenoid bone. So that's what I want to talk about.
What are the symptoms of the condition?
You see, the thing about it is it affects the whole body. When I mean the whole body, there are people who are sitting with ear problems. Serious ear problems, as in deaf or earache, or consistent infections, or ear blockage,
or vertigo
and exactly vertigo. And it is because of this bone, this sphenoid bone. There are people who've got serious vision problems. They say they keep changing spectacles, and the one after the other. Sometimes they don't even know if they should use the spectacles or something else. And it is this. There are people who've got serious sinus problems, who are forever sneezing or blocked, or it's taking this or that, and they've just accepted it as, and they say, I have got a hay fever, it's my condition. And it is this condition. There are people who have got headaches. They wake up with headaches every day. When they wake up, it's just headaches, and it is the sphenoid bone.
Debbie, already you have covered so many, and I know there are even more where you can
as you go down.
This gets scary when I think of what you're talking about, the vertigo and the ear infection and the hay fever and the sinuses, and it just continues and continues. Debbie, this is scary. Let's continue this.
People with, if you look at there are two main things that bug a lot of people today, and it's digestive problems. Where you find people, if in the list of things you were to check one that affects people the most, you'll find that the majority of people are sitting with antacids forever, whether it's this or that. Now it's a huge industry, a dollar. Now it's no longer, initially it used to be heartburn, now it's heartburn and indigestion. So they've actually separated it.
Yes.
And people are saying, I am on chronic medication for this condition, and it's the sphenoid bone. There are people who have got heart problems, and it's not known what is causing the heart to have issues, whether the heart is becoming weaker every time or it's pumping out of rhythm, and it's this bone. People with leg or the shoulder that is slightly up than the other, and it is the sphenoid bone. People that have got hip problems, and you find, that's the other big one where you find people are always referred to go for hip replacement, hip replacement, hip replacement. And it is the sphenoid bone.
Wow.
The list
is endless.
Maybe
you said about out of alignment, and we hear so many people say, well, my hips are out or my back is out, and this is a constant thing, and people just tend to keep having it put back into place, and within a couple of months, couple of weeks, they go back to have it realigned again. So again, that was a treating symptom. You mentioning hip replacements, knee replacements. This has become such a common thing. As you were talking, I was in my mind just thinking of medications that we as children had in our medical aid kit or in the bathroom. There was always something for headaches.
Yeah.
There was always something for hay fever, or something for sinus, or sore throats, or now you're talking about aches and pains. You're talking about out of alignment. You would go and have a manipulation done and put you back into alignment. Or my mother actually had a hip replacement. And I think of all the medications and the indigestion of the tablets that were in the medical aid kit or in the bathroom cupboard. And this just became formality.
Yeah.
And you learn to live with it, accept it, because we don't think there is something that actually can cure it.
And that is causing that whole body to be in such a state.
Wow.
Okay. Because, Carol, how this is actually happening. Now I'm actually going to show the viewers where this bone is sitting.
Okay.
Yeah. To hold the skull in position. And how everything, once it's in position, because you must remember the central nervous system is not just the brain, that where that skull is. It's your cranial area. It's your spinal cord. That's just all of you. Because if you look from the brain, cranial area, spine, and that spine connects to all the limbs, so the whole body is just suspended by that big, important bone.
Wow.
But now, and all these things that I have listed there, as we go along, I will actually see how the dots connect. Okay.
Yes.
But like I'm saying, in our central nervous system, we know that we've got the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. I remember even when we were kids in biology, we never even used to understand what that means, but we knew you've got the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and you would memorize that without even understanding.
That's what it means, yes.
So we've got those. That's one of the areas that we are wired. That's how we are wired. Okay. But now the sympathetic nervous system is a system of protecting you.
Okay.
Is a system that defends you. It's a system that gives signals. Is a system that will give message to the body and say, prepare, it's going to be a fight, or we're going to run, we're going to kick someone, or we're going to... It is a system that you should be temporarily in.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the parasympathetic, that's your healthy mode, okay, where...
But everything's well.
Everything's well.
Okay.
You're eating, you're jumping, you're
Functioning.
laughing, you're healthy, you are happy chappy.
Okay.
But now, those systems, they communicate. Okay. Now, and in that communication, the message must be properly processed. Okay. Which also, if it's not properly processed and interpreted and executed, or processed and interpreted, it will be executed incorrectly. Okay. Like those people that you find they've got what we call autonomic dysreflexia, which is the disturbance of the communication between your sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Okay. But now, before I come back to that, I want to explain further the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, besides the discord, if something has caused that discord. Now, remember when you exposed to something that disturbs your emotions, whether you are attacked or someone is swearing at you or someone is beating you up or whatever.
It would be a trauma or a stress-related issue.
Stress-related issue, which is part of our nature.
Sure.
Because the mere fact that you are given a sympathetic nervous system, it's because God knew you will be subjected to that kind of stuff. He knew it was coming. Exactly. Yes. But then he presented us with the mechanisms and the resources to deal with the situation, and that is your sympathetic nervous system. Right. So when that happens, there is a number of physiological things that occur. Like if someone you see someone is pouncing, wants to hit you, you're gonna have the heart is gonna start beating faster.
The adrenaline.
Okay. Yeah. The adrenaline rush, which is a part of the processes of sympathetic. Okay.
Almost boost
those hormones. Yeah. They will boost the get ready. But now what happens is you get that information. The brain says, here comes trouble, get ready. So the heart start pumping faster. So when it pumps faster, you heat up. You might find you might even sweat.
Yes.
Okay. You might even, and you're getting ready because all that actually goes to the muscles because you're preparing to fight. Or you're preparing to run. So that heart is working faster to pump everything towards your muscles. And you might even find that people that are doing the karate and all, you'll even see the posture that they twist the body.
Yes.
They will not come straight to you like this. They position. Like that. So now, how long do you think they can position like that, and you are okay? That's a temporary.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
But can you see it twists you?
Yes.
It lifts you up because that side is ready. It's gonna fight, and this one is getting ready to defend.
Yes.
So naturally, the posture and everything changes in response to what is coming.
And it's also not a position like you said. You don't just walk forward. You almost twist it. The body is almost using itself as like a bow and arrow.
Exactly. You're defending yourself when you twist like that, so that the person will not just come straight at you and
front on. Yes.
So you're defending.
Yes.
Okay. So that is an uncomfortable posture.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're supposed to be only in that posture or that mode for a short time. Okay. But now, so a lot of that happens. Now even the stomach, it shuts down. That's why you find people end up having a lot of acid. The stomach shuts down because it takes the contents to the muscles. So everything stops working and say, hey, here comes trouble. It's just like, that is why I always say to people, it's amazing how nature is manifested in everything.
Absolutely.
Because even if you were to take a situation where people maybe here, they are working, they are happy, they are all, and then they hear someone screaming and crying. What do? They leave everything.
Absolutely.
Everything,
it's
whatever
like
they do. Exactly. If they were eating, they leave that food there. If whatever was and they get prepared to go and deal with the situation. That's what the body does also.
Panic button.
The panic button. So everything, the stomach shuts down. So that's why you find people end up having all that acid, because now there is that acid, there is no breaking down of food because the stomach says, hey, no more. Take everything to the muscles because we're going to need energy there. We're going to need power.
Yeah.
So then So now when you are therefore on this a sympathetic nervous system, you're supposed to be there just for a while until you've resolved the situation. Then you must come back to the comfortable mode. And the comfortable mode is the relaxed one. You're sitting straight, you relax, you elongate it, the posture is fine and everything. You're happy.
We're out of stress mode, out of panic mode.
Out of all that. But now, Carol, the majority of us are sitting on the sympathetic mode.
Oh,
I mean, there are many reasons that have caused that. Mostly it's the lifestyle.
I'm sure.
Mostly it's the lifestyle. Like we said in one of the shows, that you find that if you're looking at our lifestyle, it's very sedentary. You know, we always sitting, we're eating. I mean, that's the good life as far as we're concerned. We're sitting and we're eating, we're sitting at a table. And even at a table, you have to sit in a certain position because now you prepare, you're going to cut that. If you look, our lifestyle is just putting us on the sympathetic.
Wow.
Because now you're cutting, the same as fighting.
Exactly.
You're not eating with your hands and taking and eating, and you're sitting at a table. The posture is such that you must lean more on your sympathetic. You cut, you eat, and you go and sit on television. I mean, on the couch, you're going to watch TV, or you get into your car and you're driving, and we're driving on a certain side in different countries. So the lifestyle is such that it's changing our posture
completely
to that sympathetic nervous system. But now when you're sitting on the sympathetic nervous system, that body is conditioned or is aware that there's problem all the time. So it adjusts, then you find you have got all these issues. You find that the stomach, which is why I'm saying it's not just only the type of food that is causing us to have this kind of thing, but it's also the mode, the sympathetic mode that you're at, you know, the lifestyle. So that creates, then you find you are persistently, and then what we do, you are given something that's going to keep on neutralizing that acid. And this is the other problem as far as acid is concerned. Okay. And acids perpetuate the problem. Okay. And acids, I repeat, and acids perpetuate the problem.
Tell me, how does that work? Because I know people that keep them in their handbag and they have a meal or have a lunch, and the first thing they do is take one, unwrap it, and put it in their mouth. It becomes part and parcel. Like you say, it perpetuates the problem.
It perpetuates. You'll find that people that are on antacids are just on antacids.
Wow.
You won't find a situation where you find a person said, I know, I had it for a week, for a month. Now I'm out of it. They're sitting with that. They're always cutting, like you say. They move from one to the other. And then it's that, and it's that, and that. And they never ask themselves, why must I live on this for the rest of my life? And you find that they say, you're on chronic. Meaning, that's it.
That's their lot.
Now, how does that happen? Okay, I'll come back to this phenol. But the problem of acid and refluxes and all that, that is also directly linked to your sphenoid bone that is out of alignment. So you will drink and drink until you cannot drink, and you end up having cancer because acid is corrosive. It destroys those tissues and all that. Until and unless you fix the sphenoid bone and put it back to alignment, you are going to sit with all these problems that I listed above and those that I haven't even mentioned. But now, how does the acid come into play? How do I explain the fact that antacids are perpetuating the problem?
Yes. But now it comes from the sphenoid bone to start with. Okay.
To start with.
Yes.
Okay. But now you must understand, Carol, that the stomach acid has got a huge, important part or role in our health.
Okay. Well, Thembi, our health is so important because all our food goes to our stomach. So, I mean, everything, our fuel comes from here. So, the digestive enzymes take us through that one.
Okay. Now, the acid does not just only break down food.
Break down food?
Yeah, food. Sort of food.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one of the main functions of the acid, of the gastric acid, hydrochloric acid.
Yes.
Okay. And if you remember, there was, a time when I was talking about people that have got gastrinoma, which are the gastric tumors that they end up having.
Wow.
And I mentioned that gastrin is a hormone that comes from the pancreas, but it's used in the stomach.
Wow.
And you're supposed to have the pumping of gastrin when there is food that needs breaking up. Okay. You cannot always have an overflow and an oversupply of gastrin, which is not proportional to the work that is supposed to be done. Okay. But now that acid, what it does, it breaks down food, digests food, turns that food into liquid, into chyme.
Okay.
It kills the bacteria. Okay. It doesn't just break down food, but it kills the bad bacteria. It kills the Helicobacter pylori, which is the one that has been known to cause ulcers. It kills the Candida, which is also very common, where you find people have got coated tongues, white, and they've got genital discharge that's like amasi, sour milk.
Yes.
It causes a lot of havoc in the stomach. And even people that are HIV positive, when it becomes a full-blown AIDS, you will find they are mostly really in a bad state of candida infection. Okay. So it does, amongst other things, those are the primary functions of the acid. So it's got to be at a certain level of pH.
Okay.
To be able to do that. So that's why I'm saying it is corrosive, because it's meant to break down that food, that even that piece of meat that accidentally flows down your throat and you have not chewed it properly.
Yeah.
But it's gonna get to that acid, and it's gonna be turned into liquid because that's how acidic and how hot that acid is.
I think we don't realize how powerful it actually is. You're saying hydrochloric acid.
It's got to be, it's got to bend that. The pH must grind that and whatever those particles are.
Okay.
But now, what happens therefore is that acid has got to be at that level. Now let's say you've got the problems of your sphenoid bone that are disturbing first the levels, the pH levels of your stomach acid. The problem is coming there and it messes up. That's now besides the gluten intolerances and the whatnot. I'm not even touching that yet. Okay. I'm just focusing on the sphenoid bone.
Yes.
So then it disturbs those levels because it messes up the system as a whole. Now what happens? Then that acid ends up burning you. Okay. Because firstly, you will find that once it disturbs the levels of that acid, it lowers the intensity of the acid. Okay. Now once the intensity of the acid is lowered, then you find you struggle to break down food. Okay?
Sluggish then.
It becomes sluggish. Your stomach becomes sluggish because you need it. If you must boil oil at 27 degrees and you are heating it at 15.
Not going to do the job.
It's not going to do the job.
Okay.
Even if it's in the pan.
Doesn't matter.
That's what happens. So if your stomach acid is low, in terms of pH, the intensity is not good enough to break down food, then what's going to happen?
Don't go away. We'll be back right after the break.
Ultimate Therapy is creating waves with their treatment programs. From the simplest illness to the most complicated of illnesses, which baffle even the top physicians, but Ultimate Therapy achieves phenomenal results. We are now taking a bold step to showcase our abilities. We are offering free treatment of up to 20,000 Rand per person to 5 lucky people. We will cover a variety of illnesses, starting with pain management. If you live on pills because of pain of any kind and intensity, please enter the competition by sending an SMS to the following number: 073 926 6520. Terms and conditions for this competition are: you must reside in Port Elizabeth or be willing to come to Port Elizabeth for the duration of the treating. Ultimate Therapy, however, only covers the treatment costs, so you will cover your own transportation and accommodation. 2. You must be willing to participate in Dr. Alternative Show as a living testimony. To enter the competition, SMS your name, gender, age and telephone number to the number that appears on the screen. And good luck.
Thank you for joining us. Be back watching the Dr. Alternative Show.
Then what's going to happen? Firstly, you're going to struggle to break down that food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you end up feeling bloated.
Also, it ferments, I'm sure. As well,
of course. Of course. And maybe you might even feel nausea, then you end up vomiting, where you find people say, no, but I ate meat 3 days ago and my stomach was feeling nauseous and all that and petulant. And then I vomited and I found that meat that I ate it actually came out as I ate it. Because the machine...
Nothing had happened.
Yeah. But then what the other thing that happens is you will have the Helicobacter pylori bacteria that might cause ulcer.
Oh dear.
But now once it eats on the stomach, because remember the stomach lining is protected from the acidity.
The acid, yes.
So it's not affected by the corrosives. The stronger the better for the stomach to have that kind of acid. But it's not affected when it's in a good standing.
Okay.
So the stomach lining is protected. And then what happens? Now we've got Helicobacter. Okay, because now it's the acid is not intense enough, it's not hot enough
that takes
to kill it.
Oh my word, yes.
And then they start breeding. And then they start eating on the tissues.
Wow.
And once the tissue breaks, that acid is going to tell you.
Wow.
People that have got ulcers will tell you how painful ulcers are.
Wow.
Because imagine that acid eating on that broken skin and that broken tissue. But now what must you do? You need something that's going to cool that.
Okay.
So what do? Antacid.
Wow.
Antacid, you take the antacid and then it goes. But how does antacid work? It actually neutralizes
the
acid, making it even further worse off than what it was.
We're already battling with the pH. It's too low. We make it lower.
It actually makes it even lower.
Oh my word.
Okay. So when now your acid is almost useless, the guys are going to town.
The scavengers.
So the more it weakens, the more the scavengers, and the more the scavengers, the more they eat on your stomach lining. And the more they eat, the more the pain becomes unbearable.
Wow.
So, and the more that happens, the more you take. You move from the cheaper antacid to the more expensive.
Wow.
But what does it do? You keep perpetuating it's a catch-22.
Wow.
So you're going to keep doing that up to a point where you are never going to fix that problem with those antacids, because all that you're going to keep on doing, you're going to mix that one and that one and that one and that to try and get a relief.
Yes.
And that relief is just temporary. And then what is wears off, and then the guys becoming stronger. Because remember the guys, and that's how even cancer sets in. Because you must
The low
remember,
acidic levels?
a cancer thrives on an acidic environment.
Wow.
So, and all that originated from your sphenoid.
Maybe this is scary.
All that originated from your sphenoid.
To actually think that, again, in so many times when we've actually looked at past episodes and situations and conditions, and you start with dealing, for example, with your bone, and we hear of all the symptoms from the hay fever and the digestion and the headaches and the hip replacements and the knee replacements that need to happen, all because of one bone, the digestion.
Yeah.
But I know the other conditions are just as severe, but stomach issues always seem to be so much worse because of the acid levels. I mean, when I think of people with antacids, I mean, it's another chronic medicine that's just there. Oh, you got to also, so you can't have this, so you got to have this. And people are just so accepting of these conditions and not looking at saying, why do I actually have it?
Yeah.
Because so many times they refer to it as heartburn, and then it's the indigestion, and they actually got these fancy names caused by our spinal bones. This actually is quite scary, but for me, one of the scary part is that people seem to be so accepting of having all these conditions, from their high blood pressure and their high cholesterol and their migraines and their indigestion and their hay fever, and they're not looking to actually rectify these.
No, but you can. But the problem, Carol, you can understand that when you go to your doctor and you say, "Man, I can't sleep. This acid is burning me," and you say, "Okay, take this." You take it, and it's a bit better. And then tomorrow, you go to him again, and he says, "Okay, no, this one's not working." Because where are you supposed to go when you've got a health problem? That is what the society has presented you with. That, okay, when you have got these issues, this is the person that's supposed to help you. So when you go to that person, you are holding on with your dear life to every word that is coming from his mouth.
Yes.
But then you move from this into that into that. You keep moving with him because the pain is beating you up.
Yeah.
And you don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is, I don't think in some cases, well, there are cases where you find people, everything that comes from their doctor is the authority. Okay. But there are cases where a person says, I don't know what to do. I mean, this is what people used to ask me all the time, like, where were you all this time?
Yeah.
Where were you? Because it's not like you're not looking, but you don't know where to go.
For sure.
That's what is happening.
Yeah.
So that is, like I'm saying, that the multi-billion-dollar
industry
antacid industry keeps growing.
Yep.
And growing.
Yeah.
And people, once they are trapped in it, they never get out of it because you keep.
Yeah. You hear people discussing which ones they're on and how long they've been on, how many milligrams. But I don't hear people saying, I have high blood pressure, how can I fix it?
Yeah.
I have high cholesterol, how can I fix it? I have an ulcer, how can I fix it? They just talk about the medications they're on. But having said all that, I think this is the first time that I'm aware of a program like has been presented right here, where people can sit and think, I don't want to be on high blood pressure tablets. I don't want to be on cholesterol tablets. I don't want to be on all these medications because they've already been given a name. They're all chronic, and rightfully so. They are chronic conditions. And for the first time, there is somewhere where they can come. Healthhaven has been a baby now for 6-7 years almost, and now Ultimate Therapy is now joined forces to actually even have a bigger, better collaboration of good health. Thembi, how would the Ultimate Therapy program with voltage therapy help with the sphenoid bone condition?
Actually, the sphenoid bone problem condition is something that stands out as Ultimate Therapies. Yeah, it really stands out as falling squarely within the ambit of Ultimate Therapy, because I mean I've had cases of people with scoliosis, where you find it's so out of alignment, the body is almost falling to the side. Yeah. And that's what happens. And the gravity keeps pulling, you know. But what I would do is, and you find even the hip, is the leg ends up becoming shorter on one
Is it all
side.
because of the muscles pulling towards the one side?
Oh yes.
I'm trying to visualize now. I'm thinking of the skeleton. If you look at, like in a laboratory, the skeleton that hangs there, and everything is just connected by muscle.
Exactly.
So the bones are floating. So and I'm trying to visualize if the muscles are all pulling one way, so literally we'll be pulling the ball joint out of the socket in the hip.
Exactly.
So now, I think we have the whole different or incorrect perception of needing a hip replacement or needing a knee replacement, but we're not actually thinking or identifying, or we're not being diagnosed correctly to say this is the condition and this is why your body's pulling to the side. So we could be having operations on healthy joints,
Exactly.
that could be treated just to align the body
so that the weight is back to
Is
the
balanced.
natural balance. Yeah.
So we're not looking at heads or the femurs that are being eaten away by osteoporosis. We're talking about a normal, healthy person.
But even that, Carol,
Yeah.
because you'll find that now what happens, because all this is so connected.
Absolutely.
It is so connected, it's kind of scary.
Then you, as you say connected, I think of an English song about the neck bones connected to the backbone, the backbone's connected to the shoulder bone. And as you said connected, I was thinking of the skeleton hanging there, and everything is connected. And only for the first time I think do I actually really start to put the pieces. Everything is connected.
Everything is connected. So even that arthritis that ends up eating on you is part of the whole mess. Okay. Because like I say that once you have issues like which start with the stomach, that the stomach is said to be, all illnesses start from the stomach. Okay. Because that is the hub of receiving everything that comes into your body. Okay. So if it's good, it's bad, the channel is from your stomach. Okay. So and there's a lot of work that occurs within the stomach, within your small intestines, even absorbing food and all that acid built up, because it's so connected, you just cannot believe it. But now even that arthritis, which people, because remember the joint that you'll feel that a person said, they say the cartilage is worn out.
We've heard that a million times.
Yeah. The cartilage is worn out. But what's eating on that cartilage? Why? And that weight, because if something is pressing on something, that whatever is being pressed is bound to go. It's bound to give in.
Tell me, that cartilage between the bones, would that be affected by the high acid levels?
It would be affected, mostly it's actually affected by high acid levels, because you must remember, when we talk acid, once the pH is messed up, pH is not only referring to stomach acid, it refers to the bloodstream as a whole.
As we said, everything's connected.
Everything is connected.
Yeah.
So the pH is not just only because people, when they say, I'm a pH, I'm acidic, they think you're talking stomach acid. I don't drink Coke that much, or I don't think acid drinks like that. They think you're talking that. Precisely. Meanwhile, you're talking about the pH of the whole body, not just the stomach.
Yes.
So, which is what therefore will affect the whole body, including the joints. But now it's even worse when the sphenoid bone is the cause, because remember, the sphenoid bone is holding the whole central nervous system into position, and the spine connects to the limbs. Your whole skeletal system is held by your spinal cord. So, and that spinal cord is part of the central nervous system, and that forms part of the aligned, all connected. And then you wonder, why is this? Which is exactly what we're talking about, that how can a sphenoid bone, which is high up in the brain,
cause so much damage?
Cause problem to the knee that is so down the low. How does it? And then you find you end up having to limp like that. How does it? Just to show how it is all connected.
But Thembi, as you're talking now, I'm thinking of people that I've known and people that I do know, and they'll say like, just got a bit of an ache over here in the side or the limb, and you can see already how they're walking. And
most people are walking like that, Carol.
Seriously.
They're limping.
And Thembi, I know I've seen with you and been with you a few times on the diagnosis, when people start looking at their ears and their shoulders, and how many people are completely out of alignment. And only when you look at them, I know now when I see people, I will have a good look so I can actually see if they are balanced. And when you see that already, you know the problems that are going to start appearing and presenting themselves.
Or that are already there.
Absolutely. But you sort of see it now, since I know with all the training that you've been doing and explaining yourself 1,000 times. And I've been sitting listening to all of this, and now I'm starting to look at people thinking, your one ear looks a bit higher, or your shoulder looks a bit lower. And then you hear what people tell you is incorrect with them, and it's all par for the course. It was inevitable.
It was inevitable.
Now tell me, how does the voltage work with this?
Now the voltage, the way it works with this, it's and this is really amazing.
Okay.
That it actually corrects that misalignment. It aligns that bone back into position.
Jamie, when you say voltage, now we know voltage always works in a circuit.
Yeah.
Whether you put it here, it will obviously go through the body. It will always connect a circuit. So does the voltage that actually obviously is exposed to the body would basically form a circuit and just balance out all the levels? Because I've seen one treatment that you did on somebody where the shoulders honestly were at least 3 centimeters out of alignment. And after one treatment, I saw the measuring and I could not believe it, that it was completely back in alignment after one treatment. So I'm trying to understand this now. So with the voltage, we would bring the body into balance and relax it and tighten it as it needs to, so that the energy can flow all in the same direction.
It's just like if I were to make maybe that might not be completely correct, but just to illustrate.
Just trying to understand, yes.
That if, for instance, you're wearing a dress and that has been ironed, and it was all creased like that. Okay. Now the one side is properly ironed and the other one is not ironed. You're going to find that the one is shorter. Yes. And that one is ironed out. But once you iron that one, it also it goes back to. So that is what the voltage this device does. That it end with just one treatment because and this is just to show how capable the body is made by its creator to be able to heal itself.
That's amazing.
So what that does, it just concentrates. It's a certain type of treatment that we do in your sphenoid bone, in your area. And it's not even high up in your sphenoid bone. It's a little bit lower, but it just corrects. And because of the voltage, because remember, when you're working with the voltage, you are regenerating. So even those cells that are already dead there, or some even almost getting to death and others not being in a position. So that's what it does. Because it goes to that magnetic field where there is death, the cesspool, and it just works on that. It just works on that, and then the cells start to regenerate. Now you must remember, Carol, that cell production and cell regeneration is a natural process. And you don't need to be trained to produce cells.
The body just does it naturally.
It's automatic. It's instinctive. So when you have enabled the process by removing what was blocking, then it starts doing its work, and it does its work quickly.
But what you're doing is more phenomenal, because you're giving the body the ability to heal itself by just picking up those organs and allowing the process to continue. So you're not interfering with the system, you're just enhancing.
Yeah.
I know what we discussed in the last episode of Dr. Alternative about from the Health Haven perspective, where you were beefing up the liver and beefing up the pancreas. And I don't know any medical practitioners or practitioners generally that would be in consideration of the organ while doing the clearing and the healing. You're treating the body with such kindness of not just going for the kill to kill the baddies to try and heal the body, but you're preparing the body to accept the healing and then to
join
continue. It's on its own, absolutely.
The information doesn't come from anybody. The information comes from the universe, because that is the person who has created. It's not some professor there, some doctor, some whatever. No, those are students also. Those are students. For them to end up acquiring the PhD or the whatnot, it's because they study, they follow this, and then they will follow that particular line and say, oh, for you to get to this, you need to do. But that's just a teeny weeny bit of information from what the universe has provided. So that's what happens, therefore, that the information comes from the universe and comes to us like we are products of God also. How we operate and how this operates and this and that, we are taught by the universe. We are taught by the body itself. So he took that through his own divine guidance, was guided on how to discover all this information, and then put it together in a way that is practical, that is feasible, that is applicable to our situations. So that is what is it. But he has not created the information. He has just discovered the information and has used it and has been given the wisdom of creating objects or devices that will help us to apply the information better. So that's what is. So what you're saying, therefore, that it's not new.
No.
Voltage is not new. It may have been used as a different term, like electricity. But it's not anything new. No. But it's just that now it has been discovered. But the other thing is, the information out there that is supposed to help people is badly censored. Badly censored. Such that you'll find that there are people who've got so much wisdom that is divinely assigned to them, but who are not in a position to impart that to humanity because of censorship. So those are the other obstacles that we're dealing with, and so on and so on. But voltage is a revolution.
Fantastic.
Voltage is a revolution. There has been, and you mustn't think there's not been efforts to also gag it. But once it comes from the universe and it's time, you can never stop it.
No, definitely not.
You just can never stop it. Now, coming back to the voltage treatment for the sphenoid bone problems, all the people that have got the bone that is out of alignment, who I will show onto that's the first lot that I would invite. And people that are due for hip replacement.
Thembi, are you talking about this now in the ongoing competition that's coming up?
No, I'm talking about a person who's sitting with that kind of problem.
Okay,
but
so we're looking at our viewers here that are watching the show.
People that are sitting with that kind of a problem. You've got arthritis, or you've got hip that is really nailing you. You're sitting with that pain and you are due maybe for operation, or you've been to operation. For as long as you're out of alignment, if you're sitting, you're going to replace.
Absolutely.
And that replace hip is going to be carrying the weight.
Thembi, thank you for the wonderful show.
You're welcome.
Thank you.